Hi guys, welcome to Dad in the Don. Today we're going to be previewing Arsenal versus Chelsea, upcoming Premier League fixture. So first of all, we're going to speak to Arsenal fan Graham the Don Jones to get his opinions of the game. Hi Graham.
Yeah, hi Phil. Let's get started.
So let's just have a quick talk about your first game against Brentford. You obviously lost 2-0. Wasn't a very good watch. For me, it was pretty poor from an Arsenal point of view, and I'm a bit worried about Arsenal going forward as a neutral. So from your point of view, do you think that can just be rubbed off as a bad day, or do you think there's serious cause for concern going forward?
Yeah, the less we talk about it, the better. In all seriousness, just got caught cold, to be fair. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible at times. There were still a couple of decent performances. I thought Smith Rowe, was playing really well. I thought Tierney played really well, and I thought Xhaka played well in the first half, and Lukongu didn't look too poor. Just defensively, especially in the second half, we just looked vulnerable. I thought the first 20 minutes we looked the better team. We took it out of them, but we didn't take our chances or make the possession count. And they were a good side, and they bullied us, especially in the second half. Is it a bad day at the office? Well, I'd like to think it is, but I'm still worried going forward. We do need players. We probably do need a new manager. I'm not saying Arteta out, but he looks out of his depth. So yeah, not good. And it don't get any easier, to be fair.
So moving ahead now, you've got European champions Chelsea, who've just come off a fine win themselves. It's obviously going to be even harder. Do you need to make significant changes? And can you make changes? Or is that the only team you've really got available?
Yeah, Chelsea are a good team. We all know that. Champions League winners, good form, one of the favourites from the league this year, and they've just brought in Lukaku, who probably will play against us. So that's not going to be good for us. I think he's going to have a good game. Changes, I think it will definitely change the right back. Chambers had a mare. I would personally take up Mari, but I don't think he'll make too many different changes apart from maybe Chambers out, Saka in, and possibly Aubameyang and Lacazette if they're fit. I wouldn't change the players I already said. I thought, Saka, Lukongu, Smith Rowe and Tierney all play really well, so I expect to see them all playing. And I would be surprised if Pepe didn't get another run out, because at times he showed quality, but he's still the same old Pepe, unfortunately. If it don't work out against Chelsea, there might have to be a few changes, but then we've got City, so you don't want to risk too much. Transfers are needed, we all know that, so nothing's going to happen before then. Arsenal are a slow club when it comes to transfers. We want to play, and then 2 weeks later we agree a fee. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be similar, maybe a few changes if they're available.
Obviously, looking at the game itself, how do you see this going for Arsenal? Can they approach this with any positivity, or is it just a case of like damage limitation until you get players in or your players are all back healthy? Well, how do you think this is going to go for Arsenal?
At the end of the day, we should come into this game with not the most optimistic thoughts. But the other hand, we've got good recent form against Chelsea. We've beaten 1-0 and 3-1 last year. So, yeah. On the other hand, hang on a minute. We seem to play well against them. But Chelsea are a better team, and we're lacking confidence because we just got spanked by a team that just came up from the Championship. It's going to be a difficult game. Lukaku brings a lot more threat attacking-wise when it comes to how he plays, and Ben White really needs to sharpen up, otherwise he's going to get bullied again. As much as I think we can win it, I don't see us winning it. I think a point would be realistic, but again, I wouldn't be surprised, because Arsenal and Chelsea games, they blew up any results. So yeah, right now, of course, we were the underdogs, and I'll be very surprised if we can get a win, and to be fair, very surprised if we get any sort of points. But you'll never know.
So looking at the strength of the squad, we've got the transfer window going to close in a matter of weeks. Do Arsenal need to strengthen, and where would you like to see them strengthen?
How long you got? Listen, it's one game, one example. We have good players. I don't care what Gary Neville or Jamie Carragher says. We have good players. It's just about getting confidence. I want a striker now. I know they didn't play, but I've gone off both of them, like I said, and Aubameyang. Everyone going attacking midfielder. Smith Rowe was our best player against Brentford. Don't move him from number 10. Bring another winger in, bring another centre mid in and get rid of our Nenley, because Partey didn't play either, remember? That's what you got to remember. And maybe a right back, because they're all average. But one player, Martinez, striker, bring him in, get him in, do it now.
And obviously, before you go, Graham, could you just give us a quick score prediction for the game against Chelsea?
Remember, we were shit last year and played Chelsea and beat them 3-1. Can happen again, but I don't think it will this time. 2-1 Chelsea, got to be honest.
Okay, thanks for that, Graham. We'll catch you later, mate. Cheers.
Thanks, Phil. See you soon, mate.
So we're going to get a Chelsea opinion now, so we're going to speak to Chris Mcmahon. So hi, Chris. How you doing, mate? Thanks for joining us.
Hello, Daddy. It's good to be back again, previewing the Arsenal v Chelsea London derby this Sunday.
So your boys got off to a good start. Nice, comfy 3-0 win. Totally dominated from start to finish. Was that as planned, or was there anything that surprised you during that game?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we was always expected to win that game. Obviously, I predicted 2-0. It was 3-0. I was more surprised and I say disappointed in Palace's performance, to be honest, because, you know, we said what was going to happen. We were going to be being in possession a lot. You'll be sitting back, you know. And then when we got the first goal, cracker by Alonso, you lot continued to see even deeper. I think it was more disappointing seeing now in the first game of the season. Like, I'd like to have seen you come at us a bit more second half. I mean, all I can remember from you lot is you had one chance. But don't get me wrong, that could be down to the way we played. Overall happy, because he didn't really have any clear-cut chances. Everyone played their part in the position, and I think we dominated you in every bit of position on the field. So, yeah, I'm happy with that. It was a good start to the season. I know it's only one game, but we go from here.
So looking ahead to Arsenal now at the weekend, you had a great start. They had a terrible start. Is it fair to say that's just going to be a straightforward win to you? Or is it going to be like Arsenal are going to turn up because it's a big game, because it's Chelsea, because it's a rivalry? How do you see this one going? And do you think there's going to be any changes to the lineup? Do you think Lukaku might get a start, or do you think he's just going to stick with that team that beat Palace?
Listen, I know it's only got one game in, and obviously a lot of fan base also say obviously not panicking, but Arsenal were terrible. They were really, really bad. They didn't show me nothing to be concerned about, but however, I could pinpoint about 10 things we'll beat them on the field by. But when it's Arsenal-Chelsea, everything goes out the window. If you take it back to last year's, both times we played them, we were playing them when they were vulnerable. What happened? They beat us. Yeah, they might have only had one or two chances, but they took them. We didn't score. These are always the sort of games where I hate. Now everyone's going, oh, Arsenal are going to lose their first 3 games against Brentford, Chelsea and City. And I'm telling you what, it's not a gimme, especially it's their first game of the season. I expect the fans to get behind the team. And I expect a tough game. I do expect a tough game. Don't get me wrong, if we run 3-0, then, you know, happy days. But, you know, you can't write off Arsenal, especially if Aubameyang and Lacazette are back. You know, they could cause us any problems possible. So, yes, it's going to be a tough one. Don't think it's going to be plain sailing and it's not going to be a walkover. But, you know, these are sort of games where we need to win if we're going to compete with the Man Cities and Uniteds and Liverpool's this year for the title. Away at the Emirates, it's got to be attacking, going at them. Brentford was superb against them, but that's Brentford. They had the game plan. Probably Arsenal, probably I wouldn't say underestimated them, but I think a lot of Arsenal fans, including the players, thought that, you know, first game of the season should be a win. But yeah, as I said, mate, nothing's guaranteed in this game. I'd like to think we'd win, but if Arsenal turn up, they'll be the third win in a row against us. So I'm going into it confident, but we'll have to wait and see. Looking forward to seeing the selection as well, mate. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. And one other point I'd like to make for the Arsenal-Chelsea game is, if you told me Arsenal are going to lose 5 out of their first 6 games, just saying, they're going to win 1, that win would be against us. It's just how it is. If Arsenal are playing well and do well in the table, we'll beat them. It's just one of those games. It's so frustrating. London derby, so everything goes out the window, and Arsenal turn to want to play up against us, you know. So yeah, it's going to be a really interesting game.
So obviously in the transfer market, you've spent big on Lukaku. You made big signings last season, so you've got quite a strong team. Looks really good on paper. Do you think that's Chelsea done for the window now, or do you think there's a final piece to that jigsaw puzzle they can get in before it closes? And do you think they have to get rid of anyone? Do you think you've got too many players?
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, in regards to the transfers, you know, a lot of Chelsea fans were saying we needed the striker, and I do understand that. Werner's had a lot on his shoulders since coming to the bridge, and unfortunately he hasn't quite panned out. I'm still a big fan of his. Again, Lukaku coming in, I'm not overly excited about. Yes, he's a good striker, but it's not something I was like, wow, I really wanted to get Haaland or even Kane, but Lukaku's here. We'll support him, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do for us. In terms of getting any more transfers, I don't believe there'll be many more. I don't look at any place where we look to improve. You can maybe say right back, but I really don't think there's anything massively we need to bring in. People talk about centre half, but you know, even with the Chalobah, you know, great start to the season. What a goal against the U boys. I can't see much transfer activity up to the deadline now for us. In regards to players going out, I would like to see a couple go out. Hudson-Odoi, his time's up for me. I know he scored a banging free kick against you. I want Chilwell started. I'm not the biggest fan of Alonso. Emerson could go as well. We're just having these players that just don't come on. We're just keeping them on our books for no reason. You know, if that's the case, then you could probably say, well, at the end of the day, we need to keep it as cover. We could just go and get another pair of decent left back than them. I'm not a fan of either. I'm glad Tammy's gone now. And maybe just I'm trying to just think of colourable players, but you know, just maybe if we could trim it a little bit more, get another 3 or 4 more players, and have a solid squad where they all can make an impact and they all can have a say on the game at any point, either starting or coming on from the bench.
And just before you go, Chris, we can have a quick score prediction for the game for Arsenal. How do you think this one's going to go, mate?
Yeah, okay. I'm going to go for a 1-0 Chelsea win. Kyle Havertz, 1-0 in the second half. I don't think we're going to romp him. If we do, it'd be fantastic. I do expect us to win, but it's not going to be easy. So my prediction is Arsenal 0, Chelsea 1, Kai Havertz, second half goal, mid-second half, puts us on 6 points, and we've beaten a very good team away from home.
All right, cheers, Maca. We'll catch you on the next one, mate. Thanks for coming on, yeah?
Yeah, thanks for your time, Daddy. I just want to quickly say to the Palace fans who went to that game, bearing in mind being 3-0 down, you guys were exceptional. I know you've got that the fans who wear the black and have that flag, think they're like your ultras. Absolutely fantastic. Great support you boys to the end. So a big well done to you lot, and good luck to Palace for the rest of the season. I hope to see Vieira does improve you. And in regards to the Chelsea fans, let's have it. Let's go down to the Emirates and let's go and get a victory, and let's get 6 points on the board. Take care, guys. Cheers.
So that was our preview for Arsenal versus Chelsea. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll catch you on the next video.